Hi everybody and welcome to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. In this video we've got a story from Relationship Advice with an update and a fantastic petty revenge. So if you want to go ahead and get started with the stories, then just use the timestamps below the video. Now let's get started with that first story. This post is from the subreddit Relationship Advice and it's by user Deleted. My 20 female sister's 28 female behavior towards my boyfriend 21 male is horrendous. I'm warning you, I'm angry, I'm frustrated and I'm shaking. I need to write it down and hear some advice. My sister is just so creepy towards my boyfriend, I can't take it anymore. She was really spoiled by my parents when she was young because she was their first child. She always wants everything, and when we were little, she always used to steal my toys, books and clothes, etc. I was never allowed to touch any of her things, but she constantly stole my stuff and was always rude to me. My mom for some reason has always preferred her over me, and thus, most of the time, I was told to let it go. Due to this, I have lots of resentment towards her, and I don't really like her. I'm honestly sick of her behavior and I just want some peace and quiet in my house. My mom called me 2 weeks ago, pleading to let my sister stay with me because she doesn't have a job right now and she can't stay alone during quarantine. Both my parents are high risk. My mom has heart problems and my dad is asthmatic. So I thought I should let her stay with me and my boyfriend instead of letting her go to my parents in case she infects them. There's been a few cases where she is, so I didn't want to risk it. Now, I'm honestly starting to regret it. Her behavior is creepy and strange and downright disgusting. First of all, she doesn't respect me at all. She's constantly ignoring me while having long talks with my boyfriend. She doesn't leave my boyfriend alone. She flirts with him and constantly tries to touch him by using cheap tricks. When we watch movies, she pushes me away and tries to snuggle with my boyfriend. She slaps his butt when he walks by and loudly tells him how he has a perky little butt. She also runs her fingers through his hair every day saying, "Whoa, your hair is so soft," or some crap like that. What the F? These are all just excuses to touch him. She just needs a chance. Another thing she does is ask him if he has abs so she can touch his torso, or say, "Did you see this thing I lost? Maybe it's in your pocket, let me see," and proceed to pat his thighs. One time she wanted help with hooking her bra and she just effing walks out in her underwear. She came to our room and my boyfriend was in the bathroom. The logical thing to do is just effing ask me. I'm her sister. But what does she do? She just waits for my boyfriend and asks him instead, even though I'm sitting right there. I think I looked very upset because my boyfriend just told her no and she went back to her room. She didn't try that again. This is not even all. My boyfriend and I can't talk to each other without her interrupting us. She barges into our room with no warning. A few days ago, we were trying to have sex, and I don't know how the F she realized it and started banging on the door claiming to have a headache. I opened the door and asked her what was wrong. I told her I had pills for it, but she just said she doesn't trust me and she wants to talk to my boyfriend instead. After disturbing us, she was suddenly completely fine and her headache disappeared miraculously. She just came into our bedroom and started talking to my boyfriend. We were literally half naked and there was no way she didn't know. This is driving me crazy. What does she want? Why is she like this? It's not like I don't talk to her. I was so angry she interrupted us because she has been doing this since she came here. I was feeling horny and angry. I just told her to get out and that we needed some time alone. I don't want to go into details, but we had a small argument and she started crying. The thing is, she never accepts it. She's completely blind to what she's doing. She denies doing it and sheds tears, which end up making me feel bad instead. My boyfriend is so uncomfortable by all of this. He just looks exhausted all the time. He's trying his best to be nice, but she's all over him all the time. He's usually very introverted, shy and quiet. He's not very confrontational and I know this is bothering him. When I talked to him about it, he just commented that it was a bad idea to invite her to stay here. He also said not to invite her ever again. I want to know why she is like this. How can I make her see what she's doing? I'm done dealing with her. I don't want to see her ever again, but she's my parents' favorite child, and no matter how hard I try, I can never escape her. Whenever I try to cut contact with her, my mom calls me and begs me to forgive her. My mom doesn't want to see her daughters fighting with each other, and she always says how she wants us to be together forever. But I can't do this. How am I supposed to deal with this? Can someone please tell me? My mom is always taking my sister's side in everything, and it's always me who has to be understanding and smart and older when I'm the younger one here. Please tell me I'm not overreacting. How do I make my mom and sister realize that I'm sick of dealing with this? Yikes, OP, your sister sucks. To your question of how you're supposed to deal with this, I would say by not dealing with it, kick her out. And once you've done that, don't let your mom guilt trip you into letting her stay. Her behavior is completely inappropriate, and if she's making you and your boyfriend uncomfortable with what she's doing, well then she should be out. If your mother doesn't want to see her daughters fighting, then she should have done a better job as a mom, because this is mostly her fault. So I would say tough love. Kick your sister out. She has no business being in your house making you both feel uncomfortable. I'm sure there must be somebody else in the world that can take her. I don't know, another family member, favorite cousin or something like that. It doesn't really matter, it's none of your business and you shouldn't be concerned with it. Your sister is an adult, she can make her own way. So what do you guys think? What would you do in OP's shoes? What advice would you give her? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they had to say. Kitty Derrick says, kick her out. She is sexually harassing your boyfriend. You can't control what your parents do. They will probably take her in from what you've said here. That's on them. If you push your relationship by keeping her in your house despite her making your boyfriend rightfully uncomfortable with behavior you clearly recognize as wrong, that's on you. If you are feeling super generous, I guess you could have a very frank conversation with her, preferably with your boyfriend in the room, that what she is doing is not only disrespectful of your relationship with your boyfriend, but sexual harassment. Point out she is dumb enough that she is doing it in your house, and you will be forced to kick her out if she continues. But you are well within your rights to just boot her ass now. Path of Consciousness says, so, your mother will stand for your sister while she is way out of boundaries with your couple? How do you feel about kicking her out and stop this toxic relationship? Yeah, it will hurt, but you have no solution. Is there a way to send her home to your parents with zero interaction with the outside world to be sure it will be done safely? And OP responds, I just want her to be gone from my home. I'm completely done with this, but I know she'll just start crying and begging until she gets what she wants. Then I'll have to be understanding as always. IsKate808 says, kick her out. Explain to your mom how she's treating your boyfriend, and if she still takes her side or begs you to forgive her, your mom has stuff to work on. From one second born to another, parents don't realize how much favoritism affects sibling relationships. If she expects you and your sister to be together forever as you described, then your mother also needs to be able to be held accountable for how your sister is acting. A person can only be a spoiled brat if they have someone enabling them to be one. Well, the community is pretty clear that what OP needs to do is to kick her sister out. I guess some of them are better people than me, because I wouldn't even be having a conversation with the sister or anything of the sort, or trying to explain to my mom why I'm kicking her out. She'd be out, that's it. But that's because I'm an old grumpy guy. Anyways, let's move on to the update to see what happened next. Hi, first of all, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for your help. I'm really grateful for the support I've received here, and all those little messages some of you sent me really made me understand the situation I was in. The many comments I read here gave me the strength I needed to talk to my sister. Thank you guys. So, on to the update. I've always had a hard time standing up against my sister. Like I said in my original post, my boyfriend doesn't like confrontations either, and he's also a huge people pleaser, which makes this situation harder for both of us. Nevertheless, I finally decided to talk to my sister yesterday. She was actually sitting in my living room in her underwear and bra, and I completely lost my crap. I told her multiple times to wear some clothes, but she said it was too hot, which it was not. She then made a small comment about me being insecure about my boyfriend liking her or something like that, and that made me angry. I sat her down and we talked. I told her she was making me uncomfortable, she was making my boyfriend uncomfortable, and we wanted her to leave. She looked very shocked by it because I don't think I have ever talked to her like that. She immediately apologized though. She said she didn't know or some BS, which I wasn't going to fall for this time. I gave her an ultimatum. She needed to pack her crap and get out in 3 hours. She looked very emotional and she apologized a lot, said sorry a lot, and told me she loved me. She said she would never intentionally try to hurt me. If I misunderstood her actions, it wasn't her fault. She kept saying she didn't know. She said she was just trying to be friendly to my boyfriend, which is not true at all. I asked her if sexually harassing someone was friendly to her, and she started crying. By this time, my boyfriend, who was in our bedroom, avoiding my sister and her skimpy clothing, came to support me. She kind of directed her questions towards him. She asked him if she was making him uncomfortable. He said yes, and she cried and apologized. She then tried to gain his sympathy by saying that I was kicking her out when she had no place to go. She also lied that I was always mean to her. She completely ignored me and asked him if she could stay. She had nowhere else to go. Of course, he said no. What the F did she think? I will forever remember the look on her face. So yeah, she actually refused to leave, cried a lot, and said she was jobless and she didn't have money, no place to stay, no friends, etc. I told her she had no friends because she was a bitch, the first time I said something like this to my sister. She then tried to guilt trip me to let her stay by repeating the words, "I'm your sister, family, I love you," etc. Me and my boyfriend helped her pack all her stuff and put it next to her car. I told her that she can stay in her car. I didn't care. I wanted her to go. It really wasn't epic like some of you wanted. I was actually crying a little while I was shouting at her because I was shaking so much. At one point, my boyfriend had to tell me to calm down. It was just so overwhelming. I'm just glad she's gone. She did leave eventually. She was calling someone and I'm pretty sure she went back to her own flat. Thank God she's not going to my parents because I don't think she knows how to quarantine. I know she won't quarantine and this was the main reason I was hesitant to kick her out. 2 to 3 hours after she left, my mom called me and yelled at me for kicking her out. I shouldn't have been shocked when she accused my boyfriend of bothering my sister. My mom also asked me what kind of man I was dating, I should leave him, etc. I should have expected that really. I tried to reason with her, but my mom was just angry at me. She asked me things like, "How can you do this to your own sister?" and similar BS she should be asking my sister. At that point, I was so effing angry. I was in tears and shaking. I just told her to F off in anger and hung up. It was just a weird day. I'm proud of myself for finally standing up to my sister, but I also don't really feel like getting up from my bed. My boyfriend is back to his cheerful self and I'm happy about that, but I just feel like such an idiot. I should have realized my mom would never take my side a long time ago. I just don't understand what I did to make my mom so angry at me. Why doesn't she love me? I have done everything she asked me to do, but she never takes my side in things. I just want her to effing love me and support me for once. It just never happens, and I feel like I'm an effing idiot for even trying. I think she regrets I was even born. Anyway, F that. I'm done trying to reason with them. My mom will never believe me. Pretty sure my sister lied to her, so mom keeps calling and trying to speak to my boyfriend. I'm currently thinking of cutting off all of my family. All they do is make me feel like crap. I deserve better than that. My boyfriend deserves better than that. I apologize for venting. What's done is done. I don't regret it. I'm glad I have my boyfriend and he loves me unlike my family, and we finally have some alone time. He's been moody, but right now he's actually cooking and stuff, and he hasn't done that ever since my sister came here. So yeah, I'm glad she's gone. My boyfriend is glad she's gone. I finally have some peace and quiet in my home. Thanks so much to everyone. I don't think I can thank you all enough. Some of you talked to me, sent me messages, and it really opened my eyes. I'll take care of myself and my boyfriend now. Thank you. Smiley face. Good job, OP. Good for you. You did right by your boyfriend and by yourself. Kicking your sister out was the right thing to do. And regarding your mom, I agree with you. I think you should cut contact with her. If she's not contributing to your life and she's just making you feel miserable, then there's no need for her to have a place in it. Hopefully someday she'll realize what she's doing wrong and change it, but I wouldn't hold my breath on that either. You just focus on you and your boyfriend, OP. All the best in the future. And now, let's move on to the next post. This post is from the subreddit Petty Revenge, and it's by user Throwaway Barber. Tricked my mom into finally admitting that my cooking was good. I've been enrolled in a cooking school for over a year, and my mom, she's never been supportive. Because I dropped out of a nursing program to get into cooking school, she's always making snide comments about how I should have been a nurse, or a lawyer, or how I'll only ever be a subservient housewife with this. And when I do make something, she always criticizes it. Like she's Gordon Ramsay or something. Oh, too much salt. It's undercooked. It looks like crap. Even though pretty much everyone else says the opposite. She's looking for any little thing she can critique about my cooking. She keeps telling me I can't cook and need to get into a real career. I've cooked 3-course dinners for the family and they always get positive reviews, except for her. She had a party for her work friends. I made a whole tray of my specialty take on homemade meatballs, a recipe I conceptualized myself, my signature dish. Everyone kept going back and getting more, so many that they ran out. I asked my mom what she thought. She said they were drunk, they couldn't taste anything. So I figured if I wanted to get her to compliment my cooking, I'd have to trick her. I cooked her a meal, one of her favorites, from scratch. Her biggest weakness that she can never resist. Dressed it up to look professional and put it in a generic to-go box, and had my boyfriend take a video of me preparing it, start to finish. I called her and told her that my boyfriend and I were eating at this diner that doesn't exist, made up a fake name for it and everything. I told her they had her favorite meal and asked if she wanted us to bring her one. Of course, she said yes. I brought the dish and told her more about the fake diner. She started eating it and complimented how good it was, how she wanted to go there and get another one. After she was almost through with the meal, I asked her for her honest opinion so we could write a review on Yelp. She went on for 10 minutes about how great it was, and then I sprung it on her that I cooked it. Her tone changed. She put the fork down and said she was lying, that it tasted like crap. My boyfriend showed her the video. She googled the restaurant and it didn't show up. She started pointing out flaws with the meal, like how there was too much sauce and it was really spicy and burned her mouth. I asked her why she almost finished the whole thing if it was so spicy. She didn't say anything. So I just asked her if she was ready to admit it. She said no, so we left, but I spotted her eating it from the other room. I asked her again, and she laughed and finally told me yes, that I'm a good chef. So, after a year of doubting I was a good chef and holding my dreams back, she finally admitted it. Fantastic, OP, that was fantastic. I wish I could have seen your mom's face. Ah, beautiful, OP, well done. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I certainly did reading them to you. So if you did, then go ahead and give the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and become a member of our Discord community that just keeps growing, and it is fantastic. And like I said in the beginning of the video, all of the relevant links are in the video description below, so be sure to check them out. And finally, I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. It really does mean a lot to me that you guys enjoy this content, so thank you once again. And having said all that, I will see you guys in the next video.